In India, the age of 60 years is considered to be the age where a person retires from his employment. What is the income source for the family when the head of the family attains 60 years and if he is the only earning member of that family? For this purpose, we have a concept called pension. What is a pension? It's basically a small sum of money which is added during an employee's employment years. Say, for example, if this person who retired at the age of 60, he was working from the age of 21 till the age of 60. Every month, certain amount of salary is deducted, and that salary will be uh, stored in one account and it will be given as a pension after the age of 60. The recent changes for a national level pension scheme is important for this purpose because it is one of the major tool of social security in our country. So what are the changes for this national pension scheme and what is national pension scheme as such? Let us have a look. For all the employees who joined the government before 2004, they have a fixed pension even after their retirement. But for all the employees who joined the government services or employment elsewhere, they moved away from this direct payment from the government where the government is paying them a pension to a new model called the new pension scheme, wherein a certain amount of salary like we've discussed will be deducted and will be paid after retirement. This was initially for the government officials, but later it was thrown open for all. So the new pension scheme, after it is thrown open for all, became the national pension scheme. And for this purpose, we have a regulator called the Pension Fund Regulatory Development Authority. Now, you might wonder why have this PFRDA when we already have another body called the Employee Provident Fund Organization, which is also basically dealing with this aspect of social security. EPFO was just confined to the formal sector. So, in a country where 90% of the employment is in informal sector, it necessitated that we have a separate scheme for that. So, PFRDA came into the picture with the president of our country. He is the guardian of this PFRDA and it is subject to his financial emergency powers. This PFRDA is actually under the Ministry of Finance. Now, when we are talking about schemes for the pension of informal sector, you also have to remember an important scheme called the Atal Pension Yojana. Uh, this Atal Pension Yojana actually constitutes more than 70% of the informal sector accounts or the accounts with PFRDA. So what is this Atal Pension Yojana? Let us have a look. The concept is very much similar, but the age group for which the age of the subscriber should be is between 18 to 40. That is, if the person is working in this age group, he can be self-employed, he can be an underprivileged worker, or if he is working in an unorganized sector. For all these people, Atal Pension Yojana began in the year 2015, and it has been ensuring that there is a minimum guaranteed pension between 1000 rupees to 5000 rupees per month after he reaches the age of 60 years. But one can enter a scheme at max at the age of 40, not after that. So 70% of the accounts in PFRDA under the NPS scheme are actually the Atal Pension Yojana accounts only. The rest 30% are by private sector and self-employed people who are really worried about their financial security post-retirement. Also, this gives an IT savings worth 1.5 lakh. That is up to 1.5 lakh worth exemption can be sought under this particular scheme. So it is both a tax saving scheme as well as a pension scheme. Now let us have a look at the changes brought to this particular scheme. The first problem associated with this scheme was that it was very difficult to administer because of the multiplicity of players in this. So in order to digitize this, the ministry came up with National Automated Clearing House, which is a product of NPCI, which actually facilitates this fund transfer by making it completely digital. So this is the first change. The design of this scheme is in such a way that if a person has certain amount of money, in his account after the age of 60, only 60% of that can be completely withdrawn and 40% should be invested in a annuity plan. Now, what is this annuity plan? So the purpose of having this annuity plan from the perspective of government and from the perspective of an investor, let us have a look. So government has a lot of fund needs. Something called the national small saving funds are also a part of this whole concept of mobilization of resources from the government's perspective. This is also one such plan. So what happens is if you invest this 40% sum in say a annuity plan, a guaranteed income will be given every month. Say for example, if this 40% of the amount corresponds to roughly 1 lakh rupees. So if there is a fixed income of 5%, there will be a fixed 5% return which will be paid on a monthly basis for a determined amount of time as per the design of this plan. So this was the original mandate. But the problem here is the annuity plans had such low returns it became extremely unattractive for the investors. So in the pandemic time, the request was to ensure that this 40% mandate in an investment in the annuity plan was removed. This was actually accepted by PFRDA, but it is subject to Parliament's approval. But another thing that is within the ambit of the approval of PFRDA is previously, if the fund had 2 lakhs amount, then this 40% is not mandatory. The person can withdraw his entire amount. Now that limit was raised to 5 lakhs to ensure that there is more cash in the hands of people. Alternatively, uh, one of the recommendation that PFRDA came up with is after removing this mandatory annuity plan, it can offer investor to invest in the NPS fund managers funds only. That is to say, uh, this is a better option. Like say for example, this annuity plans are giving only 5% return. These NPS funds will give a better return like 7%. So this will be much more attractive. One more reason is a lot of these investors are very risk averse. So another mandate for the government is to create one such product which is extremely attractive to the investors in this NPS scheme. Another change that was brought out is from 65 years, the age limit was raised to 70 years. Previously, that is till 2017, the age limit to enter into the scheme was 60. Now, in 2017, it was raised to 65, and as a result, we have had 15,000 new accounts entering into this particular scheme. This increase in accounts has actually encouraged the government to raise the limit further to 70 years. So this is beneficial for the government as well because it is getting more and more funds for long-term infrastructure projects and its financing needs. That's it for now. If you want the PDF, you can find in this Telegram channel called Hindu Highlights. You can just search for that on Telegram. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching this video.